Okay, we're live. Hi, Dawood. How are you?
Hi, Natasha. How are you?
I'm good. Where are
Is
you now?
is DC as hot as Europe or not as hot?
Not as hot. It's very humid today, but
Mm.
thank God for the pool. That's something to do in the summer.
No, the weather is here not humid and not too hot in Amman.
Okay, okay, that's nice. All right. It was a very big week today. Let's start with I think the good news or the nice news, which is the World Cup. So you've been following the World Cup more than me. So tell me what
Yes.
happened. Jordan is out, and but I think they did well. What do you think?
Look, I wrote an article on Substack saying the fourth goal that was scored by actually participating because now they have experience. What
Yeah,
they were missing, and we saw it in the game.
yeah,
Always in the second half, they were behind. They were always ahead in the first half because they don't have experience. And some of the goals were really easily could have been stopped if they had experience. So yes, Jordan is out. Um, the I think tourism of Jordan went up. You know, there was a Texas church, a Baptist church, in which the minister of tourism and the Jordanian ambassador went to. They had a big event because of the game in Texas, so they did well. I mean, the Jordanians tried to do as much as possible to use the World Cup to bring, especially Christian tourism, to Jordan. So, yes, I think they did well. I mean, as you can expect, social media went crazy,
yeah,
talking about the goalkeeper, talking about the coach, and all these things. But that's normal. I mean, I think the king and the crown prince were there. Some of my relatives, my mom is from Salt, the
yeah,
Neshawats,
yeah,
came and saw the king. And one of the Neshawats is married to the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Mike
yeah,
Waltz. So they all came and supported, and I think in general the government and the king and the people are quite happy with the performance. They scored a goal in every game, even against the Argentina, the champions. So they did okay. They
yeah,
didn't win, but they did okay. Some countries lost 5-0 and 7-1.
yeah.
But also from the Arab countries, you have Morocco's in, Algeria is in, and Egypt is in. So you have three Arab countries. It's not bad to go to
Mm.
the next. Now we'll see if they will make it to the 16 and then to the 8 and the semifinals. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I think I noticed a lot was the national identity, the Jordanian national identity,
Yeah.
was like as if like Jordanians from different origins like put away their differences, and they all like carried the red kufi, and they're all supported. So it was nice to see this kind of unity that how they're all unified, and supported the country, and it was nice to see.
We
Um,
met we met a lawyer, American lawyer, very successful American lawyer, and he's from Jordanian origin, but he kept it quiet. When this game happened, he and his kids kind of they resurrected their national identity, and they wore the keffiyeh, and they joined, the people who went to see the games and so on. So yes, I think it did help Jordanian national identity,
yeah,
and culturally, I think it was a positive thing for Jordan.
yeah, it was very positive. I mean, I was happy. I was wearing like the Jordanian soccer jersey everywhere here in the suburbs, and people would like say and wave and hey, and so it was nice, and that would give me a chance to talk about Jordan and soccer. So it
But
was
I had a problem, Natasha. My son is married to a Maziri Algerian. So
okay.
when Jordan played with the Algerians, it was not clear which were to support the Jordans, to support my daughter-in-law, and actually Prince Ali had the same problem.
Oh yeah, because his wife is
Ali is
Algerian.
married to the daughter of Al-Akhdar al-Ibrahimi, is a
Yeah,
well-known Algerian foreign minister, member of the
diplomat. Yeah,
elders. But she said she's going to support Jordan with her husband, so we'll see. Algeria won, so she's happy probably.
yeah, yeah. I bet. Well, in other news, it was a big week or a day in New York. So I like
Last Tuesday.
last Tuesday. Yeah, it was almost like last week. And honestly, I never saw that coming, not in my wildest dreams. But that I'm reading an article that Al Jazeera wrote. Palestinian rights advocates hail political earthquake in New York as progressive beat several pro-Israel candidates. So how did that happen? Why, like, how did this trend shift to the, to the degree that all APAC endorsed candidates lost in New York, which
And
has
by big numbers.
by big numbers, which has
Yeah.
the majority of, the biggest majority of the Jewish populations are in New York. So what actually happened, and what kind of charisma Mamdani had to back these candidates, and everyone voted for them?
It's not that APAC supporters lost. It's also the Democratic Party supporters. I mean, one of them went against a person who's been a member of Congress for 5 rounds, and he was the chair of the Hispanic Commission. She went after him and she beat him. So I think the big question now is, how does this affect the Democratic Party nationwide? If they are smart, they would have been, when they made the survey of why Kamala Harris lost, they would have not hidden the fact that she lost because of Gaza, because of her
Supporting
lack of support for genuine end of the war. And so I think it's going to resonate, especially in many of the states that are that can go either way, what they call the purple states. I think they need to understand that if they don't take a position, people will vote for those who take a position. So I think the idea of playing on both sides will not work for the Democrats. They have to take a side, and they have to really stand out and say, this is what I believe in on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict.
So you think the Democrats are not gonna win unless they say, we don't support what's happening, we're gonna be tough on Israel? That's their only chance of winning. Otherwise,
Yes.
if they keep trying to please both sides, there's no chance of them winning this election. And I don't know.
I think you're right. I think even Trump today is upset with Netanyahu. So I don't think they would be. I mean, it's all about money, okay? And if they have enough money to not to meet or match their opponent, but enough money to be able to run a good campaign, they will get a lot of votes, because people support, regardless of the money, support those who have a backbone. If they don't have a backbone, and if they, in their heart, believe in justice for Palestinians, but because of their donors, they have to play games, people will read through that hypocrisy.
And for me, even the idea is that now the issue of Palestine is everywhere on the agenda of all the candidates, even like local places, not only the midterm or the presidential election. And as I said, honestly, I did not see that coming. I never thought I would live to see that day. So if like 10 years from now, quote unquote, a Middle East analyst at one of the think tanks in DC want to analyze this, what would they say? They would say the Mamdani effect, the Gen Z.
For sure. Mamdani did leave an effect, but I think it's bigger than Mamdani. I think it's the Gen Z, yes, the younger people who are voting and who are taking a position. The Rami Khouri was with us 2 weeks ago, and he's now in Amman. And the Cosmopolitan Rotary Club invited him, and he chose the headline. His headline is the Palestine has become a domestic issue in the U.S. Imagine that. Palestine has become a domestic issue in the elections in the U.S. I never also would have thought of that. And then he's going to defend that topic in the Jordanian Rotary Club. So it's interesting.
I mean, I remember when I was watching the Emmy Awards a couple of months ago, one of the actresses who won the Emmy, she's Jewish. When she took the award, she said, F ICE, free Palestine. And she said that, the stage of the Emmy Awards. And she was the same one who wore the Palestinian jersey during HBO show. And she's a Gen Z herself. And and I think that's telling you where things are going, where at the Emmy people are saying free Palestine. Yeah, again, I never thought I would live to see that day, but it's happening right before our eyes. So, in other news, what is happening between the Iran and the US? Honestly, I am
you lost
a bit.
you lost interest or you lost count.
Yeah, like I think everyone, it's not only me. I think we're all suffering from Iran US fatigue, especially when it comes to peace, no peace, peace, no peace, truce, no truce, Hormuz, no Hormuz. I mean, like, when is this gonna end? And also, I don't understand. I thought the Congress voted to end the war. And why is
But
this
then they
still happening?
re-voted again 2 days later, and they voted to allow Trump
Why?
to.
Did Trump pressure
I
them to
think
do
he
that?
squeezed a few hands or put pressure on a few people to. I mean, the Republicans have the majority; they just need to use it.
But how
So
can you
people,
have one? Is it one vote final? Like, how can you just
yeah,
say
it's not a law. It's not. It's not. It's you need a majority. You don't need a filibuster proof 60 votes to get it. But it's. I think it's a statement from the Congress. I mean, when they make that statement, and if Trump goes against them, they can stop the money. I mean, by having control over the purse string, they can stop the money. So yes, it is important. But I think what is happening is as follows. I think when they made the deal, uh, many people there was a pushback. A lot of people said, it's amazing you gave up so much, $300 billion, and nothing on the missiles, nothing on the proxies, nothing on nuclear. You've basically surrendered.
yeah?
And so I think Trump wants to do something. And the Iranians are extremely smart in how they deal with negotiations. So they don't take things, they take things seriously. And so apparently tried to play some games in the 60-day negotiations, and they still have not delivered on Lebanon. And so there was attack on a ship, an American ship or some ship, and the Americans retaliated, and then Iran hit Americans in Bahrain, and then now they said no, we'll stop attacking each other. But it's a way for him to cover his back by saying, I'm trying my best, and look what they're doing. And so I think people will understand that basically the Americans lost the war, and they just need to kind of find an exit out as soon as possible. So they're trying to make a few improvements in the final agreement, but basically the war is over. The actual fighting, the big fighting is over. There's going to be skirmishes here and there, but basically the war is over, and the Iranians, in a way, in their skills and negotiating skills, and the fact that they did not collapse has meant that the Israelis gave the Americans, as somebody said, bullshit.
Hmm.
They sold them that Iran will fall in 3 days. There will be a regime change, and nothing. And they said no. The Iranians would not dare close the Strait of Hormuz. Well, the Iranians did do that, and they will do it again if the Americans start to play games.
Hmm. And what about Lebanon? There was like news of a peace deal, but they're still fighting. And Rubio called it a historic, and but some of the factions were not happy. So is this deal gonna stand? I don't know.
Well, this is not a peace deal. It's a framework, and it's not a Israeli-Lebanese deal. It's a three-way deal: Americans, Israelis, and Lebanese. And it doesn't have a lot of clarity on, especially on the issue of sovereignty. I mean, the strongest complaint against it is it doesn't call the Israeli presence occupation, and it doesn't call for the immediate withdrawal of Israel. Now, apparently, they're agreeing on 2 or 3 locations where the Lebanese army will replace the Israelis in areas that have been so cleaned up from Hamas, from Hezbollah. But yeah, there is opposition to it, and Hezbollah is still strong on the ground, and they attacked yesterday. The Israelis attacked them. Nobody knows who started it, but it's clear that it's not going to carry a lot of weight unless and until Israel withdraws from Gaza, from Lebanon.
Huh.
And Netanyahu cannot withdraw with elections coming up in September. He just can't. And politically, he's suicide. So he's stuck. He's stuck. He can't get out, and his soldiers are basically easy targets for Hezbollah because they're not leaving behind the international borders. Hezbollah doesn't need to send rockets into Israel. They have enough soldiers around to attack them.
So it's basically just a symbolic framework. It does not mean anything on,
It
on
could,
the.
and they could easily get out of it. They could, work on it. But yeah, I mean, the key was the Speaker of the Parliament, Nabih Berri, who is Shiite, but a kind of a moderate Shiite. And he attacked it also. So it's not just the Hezbollah attacked it, but a more mainstream Shiite. And the Speaker of the Parliament is a very strong position. He also attacked the agreement. But, the Lebanese say this government was elected on this type of issue, and that the issue of war and peace must be the right of the government and not any third state party. So far, Hezbollah survived, and they have not been weakened. They can only cooperate with the government if they can get their conditions, which is that Israel has to withdraw.
And I read somewhere that Israel is pushing Lebanon into a civil war between those who, oppose Hezbollah and those who want Hezbollah to stay and defend Lebanon. And this kind of takes me back to the days of the Phalange and all of that. So I don't know. I mean, are we headed to that direction?
No, because the civil war had, I'm sorry to say it, an external element, which is the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Now, Hezbollah is totally Lebanese. And they're members of the parliament. So they can't just, push them aside. They might be against their military arm, but they're a political arm as well. And they're present in the government, in the parliament, and so on. So I don't expect a civil war, but I don't expect the Hezbollah to surrender either.
Oh, well, in other news, back to Jordan, there was a big development when it comes to the issue of Christian Jordanians. And as a Christian Jordanian myself, one of the issues that my family always deals with and thinks about is the issue of inheritance. Since we don't have any brothers, we're three girls, so automatically the Sharia law would be applied to us, and any inheritance would go to the cousins.
To the male cousins.
To the male cousins. But while we were chatting here, you told me that there's a new law that is gonna solve that issue. So if you can tell me exactly when did this happen?
I need half an hour, but give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
10 or 12 years ago, a woman named Lina Nukul, daughter of a very famous, rich Palestinian Jordanian Christian family, started a movement calling for equality in inheritance. Right now, inheritance for all Jordanians, whether Christians or Muslim, gives the male twice the lot of a female. And if a family like yours has only females, 1/4 or 1/5 of the inheritance goes to a male cousin. And so this is really bad. And people started a movement. And finally, about 2 years ago, they reached an agreement. Everybody, the churches, the activists, members of parliament, most of the members of parliament said we want equality between males and females. Okay, it was great, and they all signed, but then it didn't turn to a law. Members of parliament, and specifically two male Christian members of the parliament, said, over my dead body, no way I'm going to allow the inheritance to go to women who married from somebody from another family. Come on, they're your daughters. No, we don't care. We don't want that to happen. And so things were stuck. And then kept on trying. And so finally they said, okay, if these guys and people, and apparently there is, maybe 20% of the population wants males to get more than females. If that's the case, then let's do something give people options. So what are the options available? A will. So last testament and will can be signed as it is around the world. Everybody around the world signs a will when they're alive, and that after my death, I want my daughters only to get my inheritance. I want my son who's in Jordan and he's not doing well to get more than my son in America who's doing very well, whatever they want. But they had one condition. The condition is that you cannot deny any of your children or your wife totally. So if you have a problem with your son or your daughter or whatever, you cannot put a will saying nothing goes to my wife, nothing goes to my daughter. You have to give them at least what the Islamic Sharia law gives. And so they went to the government and they applied, they signed an agreement, they sent it to the government, and the government said, okay, we're willing to allow Parliament to discuss it. So it went to a committee of the government, and for 10 days, everybody's allowed to complain and to register their position. The government then will revise the change of the law. Then it goes to Parliament, and Parliament will vote either yes or no. The problem is that for now, what they're saying is that the inheritance issue, and also another issue that came up in addition to the will, is the adoption. So they will be allowing Christian couples who don't have children to adopt a Christian child from Jordan, which, it seems normal, but they are saying, because now if there is a Christian child nobody knows who their parents are, they're put in some kind of an orphanage, and it's really bad.
Yeah.
So now, if that law passes, a Christian couple who badly needs a child and a child who badly needs parents can unite, and they will register that child as their lawful son or daughter. Again, there are a lot of people complaining that this is going to be difficult because there's a lot of possibilities that the child will want to know who their biological parent is, and what do we do when he wants them. And, okay, there are a lot of question marks in both the will and adoption. In most countries, I was talking to an Italian person, actually a local a Catholic person, who told me the law about will in Italy has 150 articles. There's 150 possibilities of things that can go wrong, and you have to make sure that the courts will honor them. Now they're afraid that they're going to pass a simple law saying basically the church courts, ecclesiastic courts, are the ones who decide the will. The people will come and sign the will in front of them. It becomes legal, and if the person dies, then they will do. But they don't take into consideration, for example, suppose you sign a will and you have, 3 children, 2 children, and then your wife has a child, and you don't have time to go on and update you die, or, you forget or whatever. What happens? Does the new child get nothing because he didn't? So anyway, I checked that, and apparently there are ways in the will to say that my existing children and any other children will get the will.
But is it gonna pass?
Right now, all the churches agreed to it. All the members of parliament, the 2 members that were against it, were voted out the last elections. So we have a very strong possibility that it will pass. But there's a lot of noise right now. And, people are trying to understand, because there's nothing published about how you deal with the exceptions. People are worried that you're taking the power from the courts and you're giving it to people who can use it or abuse it, and they might even not give their daughter and not give whatever. And so some women might suffer, even though they're all saying we will create internal bylaws that ensure that women get as little as possible. The problem in Jordan is that most Christian families like yours have 2 or 3 children. Many Muslim families have 4 or 5. And so the chances of a Christian family not having males is quite high. And so it affects Jordanian Christians more than Jordanian Muslims. But one of the ideas is that there should be a law or article in the law saying that regardless of the will, if people sign or not sign a will, no inheritance will go outside of the family. It's called hajib. So the women, like your family, would will actually say, I will not, I don't allow anyone outside of our nuclear family to get the inheritance. So one idea is to add an article that applies everywhere, that hajib, that women can block the money they inherit to go to anybody else except the family. Now, apparently, there is one of the wings of Islam, as Ja'fari, which allows al hajib, which
Mm.
allows that women can do that. So some people are saying we can use that Islamic tradition, some countries, I don't know where, to create an article saying, regardless whether you write a will or you don't write a will, a family can ban the money from being transferred to outside the family. It's a big issue, and it's going to take a lot of discussion and debate. But I think eventually it will pass.
So basically, if outside of the family, like what you, if you're not married to your cousins, if
No,
you're
if your cousins from your mother's side or your father's side, first your father's side, who are male. So the question is not the nearest relative of yours. Let me put it this way: who is a male will get equal part, equal a point, equal amount as you will get. So your three girls, there will be three girls and a male from outside your nuclear family, your cousin,
mm,
your male cousin, or somebody else, or the brother of your father, or somebody else like that.
mm, I see. But what if now a Muslim wants to have a will? Like, don't you think people say like, oh, why only you allow Christians to have a will? Would that? I know it's like a bit
It's
controversial to
an
discuss it, but
excellent question, Natasha. And there's rumors that powers to be in Jordan are encouraging this idea
mm,
for Christians to kind of be the forefront of
yeah,
changing it for all. And as in Tunis, there's a discussion also about abandoning Sharia. So the idea is once this is applied and hopefully successfully applied, there will be more demands, and women activists and women organizations will have more courage to make that demand. So in a way, like, you know, uh, Jordanian Christians will examine the issue and see how it works out. See how, because the tribal people in Jordan, whether Christians or Muslims, are the same,
yeah,
and the liberal people, whether Christian or Muslim, are the same.
yeah,
So those among Jordanian Christians who are against it, you'll find them equal or maybe more among Muslims. And
yeah.
those who are in favor, you'll find them in both sides. So again, it's not a question of Christian or Muslim, it's more a question of being conservative, ultra conservative, or liberal, and believe in the rights of equality between men and women.
Yeah, because according to the Jordanian constitution, all citizens are equal under the eyes of the law. So, like, people can
Yeah, but
argue.
But Natasha, Article 109 says that Christian non-Muslim community will have a right to manage their personal status issues. So
Mm.
this is considered personal status, and there is a permission to allowing that can be taken care of.
Hmm. Oh wow, that's what about the citizenship issue? Because, like, for example, I cannot give my kids the Jordanian citizenship.
Yeah, my daughter is a daughter of a Jordanian mother, and because I'm
Yeah.
not Jordanian, I'm not able to give her. So that, I think that's probably even harder than the will. There's a strong opposition because they're afraid that
The
there will be
Palestinian
more
issue.
Palestinian and Iraqis and Egyptians and so on. Already the tribal communities, the East Bank tribal community, feel already that they're being weakened and they're not getting positions and jobs, so on. So there's a strong opposition to that.
Hmm. Wow. We have David White joining us. Hi, David. Good to see you here. Feel free to ask any questions. and feel free to follow us on everywhere, also on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, Dawood, we've been, trying to get.
What happened? What happened?
So we started the channel, and like we only had like 9 subscribers. So I thought, okay, so I'll just maybe use a paid promotion to promote the site, but YouTube rejected the promotion, saying it's gonna affect the elections, it's political. And I was like, what? So I tried 3 different videos. One was like about the World Cup, and one was, I think, the one with Rami Khouri. They were all rejected. I think they were too political, but
So wait a second. YouTube page is allowed, but promotion is not allowed.
correct. But I've seen political promotions in YouTube. I remember like during the first year of the Gaza war, there were like a number of pro-Israeli segments appearing um, online and on YouTube and all of that. So I think the excuse that they gave me, YouTube, is that it's like meddling with the elections.
So
And
can we submit a complaint to
we
any
can
board, to the
we can
government, to the
yeah, we can appeal
committee
it.
to protect journalists? I don't know. There must be ICJ where you used to work.
I
Look, I
get,
mean, it's serious. Since they wrote to you, I mean, it's written, right?
it's
They
like
wrote to you that
it's like automated rejection, and the reason is like too political. So I guess you and me, Dawood, are gonna change the outcome of the US elections.
yeah,
And that's that's why they
and
refused.
David White with us.
Yeah, and they refused to let us advertise, which was like an interesting thing that happened, that I'm like, and I kept looking at all of our videos, like, is there any video they would approve? Apparently not, because I tried 3, they were all rejected. um
Keep trying. Maybe somebody will be try on a weekend when there's somebody else that is working on the
I
weekend.
will try to appeal and say we're just analyzing the news. So uh but yeah,
Um,
I'm curious, like people like Tucker Carlson and all these people, can they
they're all Americans.
advertise?
Well, we're American citizens,
Yeah, can
you
they
and I.
advertise?
Maybe
Yeah,
they don't know that we're American citizens.
how would does it even matter?
Yes,
Because
sure. I mean, if it's a foreigner interfering in American elections, yes, there is the law. But we're not foreigners. We just
yeah,
happen to
but
be here.
how would, yeah, because when I registered YouTube, I put all my info as an American citizen. So
Yeah, but the
and the
program, because I'm not
IP,
living in the US, maybe they, I don't know.
but like my IP address is like in DC. So I don't know. I don't know. It's probably like an AI that immediately rejected it. So we'll just have to appeal it. But
We'll keep trying. Don't give up.
exactly. Well,
Thank you, David.
and I think I lost you. Ah, you're back. And thank you, David, for joining us. And for anyone who's gonna listen or watch us, thank you for joining us for another episode of Two Arab Journalists, One Levant. You can see us on Substack, on YouTube, and we'll send the replay as well. And we will see you next
Spotify, or we're on Spotify.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There,
Okay,
so yeah.
good.
So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye.